Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we can't wait to see Tom Nook stepping on some Legos in the middle of the night. See a man in Darunia before the islands, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society sees a man in Darunia with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I'm always joined by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including an unexpected update coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons on Switch and Switch 2. And then on Thursday, we're making our own dang updates to Animal Crossing New Horizons. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. I feel like at some point I will stop talking about these Zelda 2 quotes after we use them.
The day is not today, though.
The day is not today because
it's a man from Darunia.
Do you think it's like Darunia is where the name Daruk derives from?
Absolutely. I think we are seeing the Daruk derivation in Darunia for sure. I like, for me, it's see a man in Darunia feels like a euphemism for going to the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go see a man in Darunia.
Yeah. It might imply number 2 as well. It's a good one.
It's a good one.
Also, a little bit of like, it felt like a tongue twister as I was going through it.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough.
It's tough. There's a lot of strange things happening there. Mark, if people want to support us doing strange things and going through strange things, they can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the movies.
Yeah, where Patrick and I, and most of the time a special guest, are going.
Not always.
But not always.
We don't subject
a
guest to Tron Ares. We don't do that. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, we are going to movie theaters.
Yes.
We are watching movies. And then we are recording episodes about them in our mini-series NCS at the Movies.
Yes. So check those out. If you are following us on Patreon at either the free or 4-bit levels, you still get access to miniseries that we've recorded in the past, like NCS Detective Club, like NCS Goes Broadway. Check it out over there. It's all enumerated there in fairly clear language. That we're not going to be able to stumble over right now.
No, not even close.
Could not even close. If you would like to stumble over your language with us, you can head on over to our Discord or email us at nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com, and we will send you an invitation to the Discord. You get in there, you chop it up with a bunch of people who are interested in talking about Nintendo. We get hit with a strange new, it's not even an Animal Crossing Direct, it's just a video. Who are you going to talk about it with? The folks in the NCS Discord.
Always a lot of fun.
Speaking of, we have a couple debugs, some of which are sourced from the Discord, some from the comments on our YouTube videos, which is the podcast in YouTube form. Mark, you want to walk us through these
Sure,
debugs?
yeah. Okay, so on Thursday.
Excuse me.
Yes. On Thursday, when we were talking about our tricks and treats for Nintendo franchises, for the Yoshi franchise, I said that my treat was the Baby Mario characters. Now,
yes.
This was a change for me. But we weren't sure if both Baby Mario and Baby Luigi were introduced in Yoshi's Island, or if just Baby Mario was. And it turns out, thank you to Sir Pigothy7341 on YouTube for letting us know that yes, Baby Luigi is in the original Yoshi's Island, because the goal of the game is to rescue Baby Luigi from Baby Bowser and Kamek. Totally forgot about that.
Right. I mean, yes, that is the goal, but also to shepherd the Baby Mario.
Right, to reunite them.
Right.
Yes,
that's right.
So
unless we're to believe that we are playing as the Baby Mario the whole time.
That's interesting, but feels wrong unless you're controlling.
You do get separated from them. You kind of control them both.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a Banjo-Kazooie situation.
Theft.
Huh. Go on.
I feel like I've stated my case.
Sure.
Well, I rest my case, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you, Sir Pigothy, for reminding us that Baby Luigi is in Yoshi's Island. And then also last week, you had a question about Pokemon Natures. And that question being, what are they? What do they do?
Right. Because I didn't get it.
Yeah, and I had no idea. So thank you to splubber99 on YouTube and Crocodile in the Discord for explaining Pokemon natures. Here's splubber's explanation. Yes, Pokemon natures mean something, and they are important. The nature will inherently increase and decrease one stat for the Pokemon. For example, the adamant nature increases the attack stat and decreases the special stat. So for a Pokemon like Machamp, this would be a good nature, since he is naturally high in attack already. Any special attacking moves are less important. There is one nature for every stat increase decrease combination, plus 3 natures that don't affect the stats at all.
Okay,
Ooh, boy.
Well, hold on. Why do we have those then?
I don't know.
Throw them out.
Yeah, why would you have natures that don't affect the stat? I guess if you just want a
you want a
normal
flat Pokemon, right.
Yeah, a flat Pokemon. That's right. The fizz is all run out.
All run out. Yes, exactly.
Somebody needs to change the CO2 on that Pokemon.
Because the mix is off.
If you want to, or you can just leave it flat.
See, but I want to know, like, why aren't there, like, also just, like, bad natures where it's, like, minus 10% to everything?
Right. Well, yeah, I guess if you chose a poor nature, like the wrong nature for a Pokemon, but you're not choosing them, right? It's just Pokemon are born with their natures.
Well, they get them somehow before you meet them. Yes, I don't know if it's.
You're right. We're not trying to answer. We're not trying to answer where they come
right.
from.
Exactly. Yeah. But especially in a game like Arceus or ZA, you are catching so many Pokemon, and I have gotten to the point where, like, I catch a bunch, and I'm like, which one of these guys am I going to keep? And so that usually comes down to what is their nature.
Sure, yeah.
But if adamant, it sounds like is a good one for a fighting Pokemon. But like, I don't. I want to know how, and I can look this stuff up, so you guys don't have to keep writing in. You can if you want. It's nice. I like it. But how is the stat increase and decrease significant enough where it's going to feel like it's making a difference, or is it just one of those things where it's like, wow, he dealt 32 damage instead of 30?
Yeah. These are all great questions.
Thank you.
Wonderful questions.
Not a debug, but I did run into a friend of the show, Jeremy Schmidt, at a birthday party this weekend. And he said, hey, I was just listening to you and your Trick or Treat episode, and I got so mad about one of your takes, and you both shared it, and I can't remember what it was now, but I got so mad about it. And I was like, is it Donkey Kong Country 2 not being the best one? And he was like, yes! So I just want people to know that I'm hearing that criticism.
But you're right, it's not a debug because we're correct.
We are correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
Also, this is a total side note, but I like how you pronounce it Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I pronounce it Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I can't remember which one is right, so we've covered all the bases.
Here's the thing, I don't care. And I feel like the communal video game talking about games community also doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because it gets used interchangeably.
Sure.
Just like ZA, I'm hearing a lot of Z-A and Z through A. You and I landed on, like, we know how we pronounce ZA.
See, that one doesn't seem like a question to me because it just seems so much more complicated to say Z-A
or Z through A. And ZA is just wrong.
ZA is wrong, but life is hard enough already. Like,
that's right.
Why add that extra word in there? Why do that to yourself?
I mean, but by the same token, why worry about what any of these things are called?
Hey, that's a great point.
Even though we are going to be sticklers about kind of a lot of
right. I mean,
stuff going forward.
Yeah.
Nintendo Sound Clock.
Yeah, being pedantic is part of what makes the show
I don't know
the
that there would be a show if we weren't being pedantic. All right, Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. I'm mostly playing the stuff that I've been playing lately, but I do just want to mention one thing. Every now and then I pop into the Nintendo Switch online, just like app portal thing, whatever it is, on Switch 2. And I saw that they were offering icons or whatever they're called. They're just called icons, the like profile picture.
Yeah, like
things.
the avatar things.
Yeah,
I think so.
For Mario's Super Picross, but you had to play it before you could claim them. And this is the Super Nintendo version of Mario Picross that was never released outside of Japan, so it is a Japanese language game. But it's Picross. You know how to play Picross. So there's a lot of text in there, but it's immaterial. So I played a couple boards of that. Was having a blast. It's a great version of the game. I wish they would do a Mario Picross, like a modern Mario Picross. I don't know why they don't. But I was having fun playing Picross, and I was like, oh yeah, I did this so I could collect these icons, these avatars. Because Mark, they're so good. They're these like cartoony drawings of either Mario or Wario or both of them together working on Picross puzzles. And so they'll be like looking at a simple like 9x9 grid and being like, what?
That is good.
It's very funny, and like they're kind of like chiseling at them like they're old like hieroglyph tablets or whatever. They're super charming. I don't know if I'm going to replace because my current icon is and has been for a long time the blue virus from Dr. Mario and all of his 8-bit glory. So I don't necessarily want to change that, but like this is the most tempted I have been yet since I found the Dr. Mario virus.
I have totally let icons pass me by.
Dude,
I haven't been collecting them at all.
what are you using your platinum
Nothing.
coins for? Okay,
I
cool.
really don't use them for anything. I use them so I get the email every month from Nintendo being like, you're losing 230 of these at the end of the month. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. But yeah, I don't really use them for anything. And then I also was in the Nintendo Switch Online app because I wanted to download a game I've been playing this week, which was Disney Illusion Island, which
Yes.
is the Nintendo Switch Online game trial, which ends today. And
Saw a fair number of people in our Discord who were also giving Disney Illusion Island a shot this week.
And I saw that I think they had like Halloween icons or something. Anyways,
Oh,
all
yeah,
this
I
is to
picked
say
those
is,
up
like,
too, yeah.
The art is really fun in
Yeah.
a lot of those icons. So maybe I do need to change my indifference and start like picking some of them up. because
Unfortunately, that's just your Pokemon nature.
I know.
Indifferent.
It's true. It's true. Okay, Disney Illusion Island.
Let's talk about it.
Did you pick up this game? I can't remember.
Yeah, I picked this game up and I played it and beat it. Yes.
Okay.
And I think I 100%ed it. I think it did everything you can do in Disney Illusion Island.
Okay. I thought we had talked about it before. So I downloaded it as part of the game trial, and I played it for a little bit, and I played just like the first like area and a half. So I did the first boss and then explored more past that, but then I put it down after that. And like I said, the trial is over, and I don't think I'm going to pick it up anytime soon. But I thought it was totally fine. Like I thought it was like a good game. It's one of those games that I could see, but it didn't do anything that really felt like standout to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like an interesting Metroidvania in the sense that you could like introduce those mechanics to new gamers. I didn't think it was particularly challenging, but I thought the platforming was interesting.
You were playing like the first hour of it.
I
right?
know, but
like, yeah.
Totally. But like I thought the platforming was interesting enough to keep me going. It felt to me, it felt like one of those games where in 5 or 10 years it'll be on somebody's list of like hidden gems on the Nintendo Switch, that because it's a well-made game, but it didn't have much of a spark to it for me to want me to keep going.
I feel like that was kind of the response to it when it came out. It was a game that I think both you and I were tracking when it was announced initially. I really like those the cartoons on they're on Disney Plus now, but they didn't start there. The Magical World of Mickey Mouse. I think that's the name of it. Might be something else. And so that's in the same style or like relatively close to it. And so I was like already like kind of pumped for the game, but then didn't get it when it came out because it was getting like middling to high reviews. But when I finally got around to playing it, I thought it was quite fun. And like especially as you get like deeper into the game and it starts like stacking the character abilities on top of each other to make the platforming a little more complicated. I really like that. And then I just, I don't know. I like the animation of those characters, doing whatever they have to do to like hover through a little space or, whatever. It was, I get where like the beginning of the game isn't the most impressive showing for it, and it's pretty simple. But yeah, that's one that I remember liking quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's not even really that like I thought it was boring. I just thought that I didn't feel compelled to keep going. I thought everything I played was good. I did think that there's like a 6-minute cutscene.
Yeah.
Or the beginning of the game that kind of like sets up the world and everything that feels kind of like I think they're going for a mini cartoon, and it is fully animated. Like it is a mini cartoon.
Right.
It just goes on a little long for me.
It is. It's a thing that you got to be like, this is what I'm here for. I'm watching this. And yeah, it's totally at odds with like now do platforming exploration challenges. But yeah.
But the presentation is really fun. The music is really good. Like you said, the different character abilities, like when you learn to what is the equivalent of like a double jump or something.
Right.
When you engage that, there's like a quick animation of like Mickey's like riding a rocket or something like that illustrates that. And all of that is really well done.
And all the characters have a different animation for the exact same move. Like the characters all play the exact same. And there's no combat in the game too. I think its restraint in a lot of ways is very interesting. That like the characters don't play differently, and that you're not fighting or shooting or whatever.
Yeah.
I think is all very just compelling. But I know it's not for everyone.
No, I'm glad that I had the opportunity to check it out. Speaking of checking things out, the other thing that I played this week is the Donkey Kong Bonanza Emerald Rush DLC has a Chip Fever event going on right now.
Is that still happening?
I think that
go
one
home
also
tonight,
might have ended, or at least ends. We're recording this on Monday. I think it ends like on the 4th.
Okay,
possibly. But it's a lot of fun. So one of the questions I had before the event started was, does this just take over Emerald Rush, or is it a separate thing?
Yes.
And when you talk to Void Kong, you have the option of like Emerald Rush or the event.
Gotcha.
And it's super, super, super easy.
The NBC series, The Event?
That's right.
The sort of like lost
collaboration,
knockoff, The Event.
crossover, yes.
Yes.
Is that the one where they were on an airplane and then the airplane disappeared and came back? Or...
Boy, I am trying to remember. So
I
like
guess that could also be describing
that's also
Lost.
It was one of these shows after Lost that's like Flash Forward or like the remake of V. There was just one called The Event, and I can't
remember what the event was.
It, though. What was the event?
Yeah.
Write in, let us know what was the event. What Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com.
But yeah, so yes, you choose Emerald Rush or the event, and the event, it's so easy to get gems or whatever they're called in what are they called? Chips.
Yes.
Wait, but there's chips, but then you're collecting emeralds, right? And
so everything that was Banandium before is now emerald.
Yes.
So there are emerald gems and emerald chips.
Yes. So it's very easy to get emerald gems. Very, very easy. But all of the like perks that you get are related to chips, and there are ones that you can use to like. It's like, oh, just as you're playing, one of the perks is you automatically collect gems, but the amount that you get is based on how many chips you have in your wallet, and then you can.
Gotcha. Sure.
Then there are perks like, oh, you can increase your wallet by 1/2 of the amount of chips that you have currently.
So you've said wallet twice now. Is that new lingo for this?
I think that's what they.
Mode
my
of the
memory
game?
is
Okay.
that that's what they call it. That's what they refer to it as.
Right.
Is like the amount of chips that you have.
Right. I always called it a chip purse.
I think they referred to it as the wallet.
Okay, great.
And then so all the perks are chip related. That's why it's Chip Fever.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get 1 million gems in total in a round, so it starts at like 800, and you get a certain amount of chips for that, or whatever it is that you can talk to Squawks for later.
Sure.
To redeem for statues. And then
that's chips.
And then it just goes up from there. So it's like if you get like 250, that's when you get the On Guard statue. And then at 1 million, that's when you get the Kong Bonanza statue.
So On Guard is easy to get.
Kong is the hardest.
Kong Bonanza.
Kong Bonanza is the hardest. But it only took me 2 rounds.
To get
of
all
the event to get 1 million. Like it's really easy to. I thought like not in a bad way, but in like I was able to knock this out in 2.
Do you have to do it on DK Island?
I think you do have to do it on DK Island.
DK Island's the best one, or at least it's the most fun one.
It's really the only one that I played very much of. So it'll be interesting because I think the event that's happening later in that starts later in November takes place on a layer that I never played.
Oh, interesting.
Emerald Rush on, but it was like just like the Tetris 99 Maximus Cups.
Yeah.
It was such a good reason to go back into the DLC and play Emerald Rush, which I really liked, and then was just reminded how much I liked it. And then even after I got the Donkey Kong statue, I was like, I'm just going to keep playing this a little bit because it was just a lot of fun.
I gotta at least get in there and get the On Guard statue, right?
Yeah, we should.
These events will come back too.
For sure. I'm sure it probably will be like a Tetris 99 thing where eventually they repeat a couple or have the rewards be the same. There's only so many statues they can make.
Boy, is that true? Or could they just like mine the depths of Donkey Kong lore forever?
Yeah, I mean, look, if they're eventually going to get to a Stanley the Bugman statue, that'd be great.
Hey.
But I have a feeling that they may not go that deep.
Now that's the only thing I want, Mark.
Just all we're asking for
yeah.
is some recognition of Stanley the Bugman
yes.
in Donkey Kong and of Wart in Mario.
Yes, that's all we want. And if you are in the United States and you're listening to this on Tuesday to vote, that's all we want.
That's all we want.
Mark, I've continued to play Hades 2, despite the fact that I have rolled credits, beaten the game, and am now just like, elbow deep in the end game. I don't really know how much more I want to say about it because everything I could say at this point feels like a massive spoiler for anyone who has not yet beaten the game. But I do feel the sort of drag of I have accomplished the thing already. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I have not successfully completely romanced any of the characters yet. I'm close with two of them. But not the two I want. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I will probably at least keep going until I can lock Icarus down. Cause come on, he's got those wings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's also a handful, I gotta say, of romance options in Hades 2 where they're just mean to me, and I don't like that. I don't like it when they're just mean to me. Do you know what I mean?
So, do you mean like
how do you normally when you're romancing characters in video games? Do you go for the people who are rude to you, or like and try to win them over, or are you like going for the sweet ones that you're like? I'm
usually going for the sweet ones.
Yeah. I'm not looking for drama in my video game dating.
No, me either. But I feel like this is of a piece of like when I'm playing like a Fallout game or something and I have the choice of being good or I have the choice of being bad, I always just choose good.
See, I also usually try to be good, but every now and then my little stinker impulses like override and I want to do something bad, which is usually not romance related in games. So still working on that. I'm playing Super Mario Galaxy as well. I have now 31 stars in Super Mario Galaxy.
Nice.
Which is a quarter of them, right? Hard to believe that I'm that far into that game already. And also, I'm just really enjoying it. It's a fun, like, low stress kind of way to interact with a video game that will also delight me from time to time. So much stuff about the game that I forgot, and it's just been a series of wonderful surprises to revisit.
How are you playing it? Are you playing
Pro
it with
controller?
Your Pro controller?
Yeah. I'm playing it on Pro controller. I'm not shaking the controller to do the move, but I have mapped it to the back paddle button. Which feels just different enough that it feels more better than just pushing the B button on the controller. I don't know if that makes sense. I need that move to feel a little different, but I don't want to shake both of my hands in order to make Mario do the spin attack. So, all right, Mark, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
Well, let's check in first with Nintendo Music. And this week, the update is the Animal Crossing New Leaf soundtrack from the Nintendo 3DS.
Interesting. Obviously, a very similar soundtrack to the Animal Crossing New Horizons, which has been on there since the beginning, maybe?
I can't
long
remember.
Time.
Yeah,
it's been on there a long time.
Yes, but also seems like they're getting better at like synergy with the or more purposeful.
Right.
Yeah,
that obviously Animal Crossing is like in the news right now because they announced a bunch of updates to it, or to New Horizons coming in January, which we'll talk about in a bit.
And then on Wednesday, November 5th, Dinkum is released. This is like the specifically set in Australia.
Yes. survival game.
survival game that we saw in the September Direct.
And it's called Dinkum, which I think is notable.
And then on Thursday, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is released. And there's also right now in North America a playable in-store demo at select Best Buy, GameStop, Target, and Walmarts in the US, and then in Canada at select Best Buy there.
Interesting. So those are there now if I were to go to a Best Buy
Yes.
now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That I am frequently tricked by the Hyrule Warriors franchise into thinking this is something that I like and will want to play. Also, the Fire Emblem Warriors series, the Nintendo Warriors series, get me usually. Mark, I currently have a $40 credit at GameStop because this is kind of a fun story actually. I had been hosting my buddy's Xbox One because he didn't want it and wanted me to be able to play Sea of Thieves with them. And so, we're packing up the house because we're going to be moving shortly. And I got to the Xbox and was like, what do I do with this thing? So I texted Ethan and was like, Ethan, do you want your Xbox back? And he said, no, sell it and do whatever you want with it. And I was like, maybe I'll use the proceeds to buy some cockroaches and send them to you. And he said, looking online, it looks like it costs about $28 to send 100 cockroaches to someone. And the trade-in for cash at GameStop is $30, so you can do that. The value of one Xbox One is roughly equivalent to 100 cockroaches. So I ended up not doing the cockroaches. I think they rang up the Xbox as an Xbox One at GameStop.
Or the Xbox One.
The Xbox One X.
X.
I think is what they rang it up as, because I saw on the receipt later that it said Xbox One X. And so, yeah, now I've got $40 that I will not be using to send cockroaches to my buddy Ethan.
Because GameStop doesn't sell them. Otherwise,
it would in a heartbeat. Yes. But so my point is,
yes, this is a low risk way to purchase Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment to see if you can be tricked yet again.
Right, like a fifth time. But I mean, that's an easy way for me, a low entry to Kirby Air Riders, another game that I'm totally on the fence about.
That's true. I was really excited for Age of Calamity.
Yes.
And it was because I loved the world of Breath of the Wild so much. And so to be able to spend more time with those characters was so exciting. And I like Zelda lore. It was... I don't know, I didn't play enough of Age of Calamity to complete the whole thing. But the way that it was presented and then the way that it turned out to be kind of like a, side story, I just think it's interesting that Age of Imprisonment, they're like, no, this is canon. We are selling this
very insistent on this being canon.
As canon. So that part of it intrigues me in the sense that I'm looking forward to the lore videos that tell me the story of this. But for me personally, I don't plan on picking this one up.
It's also, we were excited about the champions, right? The champions being playable characters in the last one. But first of all, those characters in Tears of the Kingdom, the sages, are not as compelling as the champions were in Breath of the Wild. But also, they're not the main characters in this because they're in the wrong time period.
Right. So these are the sages of yore that were always masked in Tears of the Kingdom. Right.
So, Minoru will be among them, and Zelda is a playable character. I assume that she's, the playable character. I don't know. I mean, I think reviews are likely to pop today, right? Tuesday. So, I'm open to the possibility that, I go to the GameStop and spend $30 and 100 cockroaches to get a copy of Age of Imprisonment.
Also on Thursday, there's 2 Metroid Prime 4 Beyond amiibo release. There's the Samus one, and there's the Samus and Viola, the motorcycle. And then there's a third one that is not releasing Thursday.
Right. That one waits until the release of the game, which makes perfect sense. Why these are releasing ahead of the game?
Anybody's guess.
And maybe it's because the cost of amiibo is so high at this point that they're like, we need to split these things up. We can't say, hey, people who've never played Metroid Prime 4, if you want the whole experience, you got to pay $200 and get all these amiibos. or roughly. I'm just guessing there. But yeah, I've got these two guys pre-ordered, so I will be picking those up on Thursday. And anything else coming out this week? No, doesn't seem like it. All right, Mark, let's close this segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or a group of performers did not play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Spooky season behind us.
Yes.
But it's still fall.
It's still fall.
Let us not pretend that it's not still fall.
So today, we're going to be talking about piles of leaves.
Yes. What is your relationship to making them, to jumping in them, any other thing that can happen with them? Mark, when you were growing up, was there a like leafy yard situation that needed to be raked up?
Yes.
And did you have rakes or did you have leaf blowers?
We had rakes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we had rakes, and we would make piles of leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And
we would usually try to make one big pile.
Interesting.
Would you do several discrete piles?
We would do several discrete piles. We had a couple of trees that were leaving a lot of leaves.
Yeah.
And so it took a lot of time to gather them all up. What I remember most, because, you know, in LA, we don't really get the smell
right
of like
falling
leaves that have been on the ground for a while, so they're turning.
That smell.
Yeah.
I feel like there are two different smells, right? There's like the one where, and maybe that's just more of like the crisp fall air smell. But then there's like kind of a stank.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, a little sweetness to it.
Yeah.
When you have like a pile of leaves together that have been, you know,
that's
gathered for a while.
That's decay. That smells
sweetness, sweet. Yeah. Some sweet notes. Yeah. I feel like at some point in my life I must have jumped into a pile of leaves.
But you do not recall this.
I don't not like a clear memory of doing it. But I wonder if I did it because I saw it in cartoons or something, because I don't think it would actually be very fun.
You're out of your mind. It's like being in a ball pit.
Is it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, and again, it sounds like you guys were raking into several discrete piles, which are going to be short. When we used to rake into like a tarp, that we would throw down a tarp and like rake onto the tarp and then bundle up the tarp and take it to the next place so we could like gather from around the yard.
Yeah.
And there would be a pile of leaves taller than myself, and we would bring it over to like the deck and jump off the deck into the pile of leaves.
Wow.
It was very fun, Mark.
Wow, that's incredible that you had so many leaves that you could jump off the deck into it.
Yes. So we had there was an empty lot behind my house growing up where it was just like, it wasn't empty, it was full of trees, right? But there was no house on it. So yeah, we had like a ton of, and this is in Wisconsin, you know, so like it was just in the fall, there were leaves and enough to build into piles big enough to jump in. But then when it came time to dispose of the leaves, I remember there being like a point where this changed, but we used to burn them.
Oh,
But then the county or whatever was like, you can't burn leaves anymore.
And so you had one big pile on a tarp.
Yes.
And is that what you would burn?
Yeah.
Or wow.
I mean, you would pull the tarp out from under it and then burn that. But that was always cool, right? To like, because they're dry leaves and like they go up like pretty cleanly, pretty quick. And it's fun to watch like a big thing burn.
That does sound really cool to have a big enough pile to be able to jump off your deck.
Yeah.
And land in.
I mean, to like temper your expectations here, the deck was like not so high that like I didn't need like something to cushion my fall necessarily. We jumped off the deck normally. Because we're children with like rubber legs.
Right.
Well, okay, we were accompanied today by the Berliner Philharmoniker. Mark, let's get into the news.
Well, we've mentioned it a couple of times already, but last week, Animal Crossing New Horizons was announced to be getting a pretty substantial update on both the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yes, and part of that is a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which is available as a separate purchase or as an upgrade if you already own it on Switch 1. Both the Nintendo Switch 2 edition and the version 3.0 are coming out on January 15th. So this is filling that sort of like January gap where we're like, December is Metroid and February is Tennis Fever, and now we know January is Animal Crossing Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, so the news was released in a 12-minute video. A little bit of a surprise, if for no other reason than Nintendo had previously said this is with like version 2.0 that was the last major update for Animal Crossing. Obviously, that was years ago, and a lot can change between now and then, and clearly it did because this new update is coming.
First of all, before we get into like what actually the updates contain, interesting that they don't call this a direct. And then also the welcome return of like this tone of Animal Crossing trailer with this voice that's not really the same voice that's in normal Nintendo Direct videos. Just a very like pleasing, welcoming voice guiding you through everything that Animal Crossing has to offer.
Yeah, you got that New Horizons theme going in the background.
God, so good.
Yeah. It was
not
fun to be back in that
world. I don't think in normal game trailers, but yeah, Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's all over there.
Sets a mood.
Mm-hmm.
So first, they talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch 2 edition and what like updates that will bring. You have the improved graphics and performance,
and I love the side by side being like, look how
blurry and ugly.
Yes.
Yeah,
look at the resolution here. Look at the resolution here. Yes.
It brings Joy-Con 2 mouse controls, which is pretty cool for you can use it for moving furniture and creating custom designs and custom messages on the billboard.
Kind of cool. It's I know that some of the decorating tools have been updated in the 2.0 release with the Happy Home Paradise stuff, and this just looks like sort of an upgrade on that with the mouse controls.
Introduces a new item, the megaphone.
Hilarious.
Which allows
funny.
Which allows you to call for your villagers by name using the built-in Switch 2 microphone.
Right. So if I'm like, hey, Sherb, but there'll be like a little thing that says like, I'm over here, and I can go and find Sherb wherever he is.
Yep, that's fun. Also, some expanded online features, so you can have up to 12 players on an island versus the previous 8. Though everybody will have to be playing on the Switch 2 version in order for there to be 12.
Makes me wonder, how will Switch 2 players be able to play with Switch 1 players?
I would guess yes, but only with a max of 8.
Sure. Okay.
But it also makes me wonder if the loading process of getting on an island or having people visit your island will be any faster on Switch 2.
Murder. It's so bad.
In addition to having 12 people on an island at a time, Game Chat will also support 12 people hanging out, and you can use the Nintendo Switch 2 camera to like display your face as avatars.
Right, which is a feature that's being used in a handful of other games, and I find difficult because it's not as though the Nintendo Switch camera tracks your face. It is like you lock in where your face is, like when you're setting it up, and then if you move, your face isn't there anymore.
Oh, interesting.
So it feels of limited use.
So the upgrade for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is just $5.
Which, is this true? I wrote this down because I could see that that's Best Buy is taking pre-orders now for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That is $64.99, which is just a $5 increase from the vanilla version. That seems crazy.
Yeah, it is true though. It is only $5. One thing I don't know. There was some speculation online that part of the reason it was only $5 is that the like fidelity of the graphics is improved, but the game still only runs at 30 frames per second.
Okay.
Versus like getting like a frame rate improvement, which seems to be tied to the logic of the game, like how time passes.
Yeah, sure.
And so
that makes perfect sense.
But yeah, $5 for the Switch 2 update. So you can buy the Nintendo Switch 2 edition completely new, like you said, for $65, or if you already have the Nintendo Switch version, you can upgrade for $5.
It's just some like Brave New World pricing stuff where like we're not restricted to the even tens.
Yeah, yeah.
Like nope, games can cost $65 now.
Uh-huh.
Who knew?
And so
It's just new data for the spreadsheet is really why I'm excited.
which is part of the reason why this show keeps going is to gather more data for the spreadsheet.
Right.
Uh
And so I don't feel like a maniac keeping the spreadsheet that no one ever consults.
Yeah. So that's the Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive stuff.
Right. Not that much.
No. So another reason, like $5 seems like a reasonable price for that. But so everything else we're going to talk about is part of the big version 3.0 update, which is available for free to everybody. Nintendo Switch
yes.
owners, Nintendo Switch 2 owners, everybody will get these updates
on January 15th.
Yes. So first, there's this like mini Happy Home Paradise that they're introducing.
Yes, but that is an accurate description. There is a little hotel that appears like off the dock in the lower right corner of your island. That is being run by Cap'n and his family.
Mm-hmm.
That little frog guy who can take you on like adventure islands or whatever. And you have to decorate the rooms in the hotel to specific themes. Now that's the part where it's a little bit different from Happy Home Paradise. Happy Home Paradise, you are decorating. It's still sort of to a theme, but the theme is determined by the villager that's going to be staying on that little mini island. This is just like they say it's seaside. You do it, and then a random villager comes to visit, and they like it, probably always.
Yep. And by playing this, you can earn hotel tickets,
Mm-hmm.
and you can spend those tickets on hotel souvenirs and other rarities that they tease.
Mm-hmm.
And then
there are little mannequins. You can dress the mannequins up, and that can be sort of like your island uniform, so that villagers visiting your island can wear it if they want. You can wear it. Human players visiting your island can wear the outfit that you put on the mannequins.
And then you can also scan compatible amiibo to invite guests to the hotel, and then promote the island with special DIY goods.
Sorry, that should be DIY. I messed up.
Oh, uh-huh.
So yeah, there's basically just like a little bulletin board thing where Tom Nook is like, craft these things, and then Captain will send them out to wherever to promote the island. So you're making DIY products, basically in exchange for hotel tickets.
So that's the resort hotel stuff.
Yeah, and can we just stop on it for a second? Because a lot of what we're seeing in the resort, in this hotel, is you said it's like Happy Home Paradise, which is a game mode that I think most people did not actually mess around with, which is sort of an infinite like creation tool, right? It gives you the space, and it gives you the individual like items that you need to decorate the space, furniture, wallpaper, what have you. And you can pick as many of any of those as you want to decorate the space. You can also use any items that you have used or purchased previously. So it's sort of like just an endless creative mode, not with literally everything the game has to offer, but everything that either you will need or anything that you have used in the past. And so it's a lot less, Animal Crossing, even in any mode, is not super objective based, right? It's kind of what do you want to do in Animal Crossing? You do that. And that is particularly true of Home Paradise, and in this, it seems. I'd better to think of this as just like a fun creative mode that the game also like rewards you with tickets for being creative.
Yeah. And, Happy Home Paradise is part of the Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC, so you had to pay.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
to access that, unless you're like a Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscriber. So it's just like interesting. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's interesting that they're introducing kind of like a smaller version of that
like
mode,
a diet version
for free in version 3.
What? And there's like another thing that is basically this again that we'll talk about in a second.
So they are increasing the max storage in the game from 5,000 items to 7,000 or 9,000 items. You can also store trees, shrubs, flowers, that sort of thing. Mr. Rossetti is back.
Mr. Rossetti lost his job. Now he's back.
That's right. Now he runs a service where he'll clean up like areas of the island. You can pick a specific area, tell him to clean the beach or like have him clean the whole island or like out in front of the house or whatever. And he will send his crew. There's a cute little animation.
Yep.
They suck everything up and reset that so you don't have to go and like manually do it yourself.
Right, and you can either send all that stuff to storage or just trash it. This is the quintessential. We know you haven't played Animal Crossing in 3 years.
Yeah.
So here now you have this option. Just tell Rossetti to clean up the whole thing. Remember when we did when we found out that Mr. Rossetti was not going to be back in New Horizons, that he was getting fired, and we did an episode on other Nintendo characters that should lose their jobs.
Yes.
What a fun idea.
Yeah, that's a good episode. You should if you haven't heard that one before, you should go back in the archives and listen to it. That was a lot of fun. The next big update coming in version 3.0 is Luna's new dream world.
Yes. So dreaming has already been part of the Animal Crossing New Horizons, where you can visit like sort of dummy versions of your friends' islands that are in like specific states, and you can like mess them up as much as you want, and it doesn't change anything. And also you don't need them to be there. They can just fall asleep and then you can visit it at any time. This is totally different. This like opens a pocket dimension to a dream world where you like start a new island, which is again just sort of like a creative mode, right?
Right, and you can have up to 3 new islands.
Yes.
And you can invite your friends to come and like create that island with you.
And
like terraform it.
Like if I were to visit your island right now, Mark, I couldn't put stuff down on your island, right? Like I can't decorate a space. But if we are on a shared dream island, or I've invited you to my dream island and you're hanging out there, you can carve rivers, you can drop trees, you can pick up couches. It feels like it's I wondered how smoothly it works in the video here. It seems like it's happening super fast and really fluidly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exciting. I wish I had like a dedicated like set of Animal Crossing players to just like mess around with a space like this.
Yeah, like it feels like, because so much of Animal Crossing as a regular, like a usual experience, is dictated by when you're playing it, right?
Yes.
It's like if you turn it on at night, you are going to get the nighttime experience. You can't like the weather is random. You know, like so much of the game is just set for you. And in this new Dream World mode, you get to set the weather. You get to set the time of day. Like it's basically cracking open Animal Crossing and letting it be a little bit more like The Sims, as a bad example, where it's just like, now we give you, or like a Super Mario Maker, where it's like, and now you have the tools to kind of like
to do whatever,
to do what you want, and to have like 3 additional islands without having to trash any of your other ones. Like that's cool. That's also just like really neat and expands the world of the game so much.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that like makes me not nervous about this, but like kind of less excited, is that like it's not clear to me how they're going to incentivize you to do anything beyond like you wanting to do it, right? And like I feel like New Horizons was so good at having like the Nook Miles program, where it was just like, for doing the regular kind of stuff you're doing already, you get more Nook Miles, and you can spend that on like cool items and stuff. And this being a sort of like, you can plant a tree wherever you want, and it'll be in whatever state you want it to be in. And like you can freely terraform stuff and build bridges and stairways. It almost feels like I'm worried that you need some restrictions on your abilities to do stuff. You know?
To me, this feels like something for people who, because like want that sandbox mode, like want that creator mode, because people were already building such amazing things with the current restrictions of New Horizons, and so I feel like it just gives somebody that much more freedom to create something that could be like so cool and unique. Like you could make something that's like Halloween themed and have it be rainy and you know, like windy at night all the time. You know what I mean? I just think that's like it feels like something that's for power users to really let their imagination just go crazy and not have to be like, okay, well, in order to make space on my island for this new thing, I have to tear this down and destroy it or whatever. It's like, no, you can keep all of that and then you can build something completely new.
Yeah. And I hope to see a bunch of that. It is a huge bummer that like when Animal Crossing first came out, the Twitter integration was still working and Twitter as a platform still sort of worked. Um, so you would see people's creations and like you would see stuff from Animal Crossing on there all the time. And I'm like, where does that live now?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It's an unanswerable question.
Also, they are introducing various collaborations.
Love this title card. Various collaborations. Nintendo, cut the word various. Collaborations covers it.
Yeah, so this is this part feels very reminiscent of the major update they did for Animal Crossing New Leaf, the like Welcome Amiibo
Yes.
update that similarly came years after the original game.
It came 3 years
released.
after the original game. This is going to be coming, I guess, 5 years after. No, 6.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
So there will be Nintendo products at the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
which introduces this idea that if you have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, you can play, quote, a select classic game on each like retro system.
Yes.
And they showed off Ice Climber, Clue Land,
Sure.
and Dr. Mario for the Game Boy.
Right. So I mean, and this is a feature of Animal Crossing that goes back to the original, where you would pick up, an NES with The Legend of Zelda in it, and then could play The Legend of Zelda, within Animal Crossing. I think you and I had talked about this previously on just like musing about things that we'd like to see coming to Animal Crossing, which we're going to be doing again shortly. But yeah, it's crazy that you just need to integrate it with the thing that's already on most people's systems.
Yeah, and it's something that hasn't been in Animal Crossing for probably like more iterations of the game than it ever was in.
Right. Well, because the first time that we would have seen it in North America would have been the GameCube version, right? And there was no eShop at that point, so they didn't have another way to like monetize their classics library. Whereas like on the Wii U, 3DS, and now it's either buy them or subscribe to get access to them. So it's kind of just cool that there's like another portal into the same services you already have.
Yeah, and nods to like Animal Crossing history.
Makes me wonder, are all of the NES games I have on there, will I be able to play all of them, or just...
No, I think definitely not.
You think definitely
I think it really truly will be just like a select few.
Yeah, and do you think it's like somehow stealthily booting up Nintendo Switch Online to like launch those things? Or if they're actually like...
Or it's just doing a check to see if you have the like entitlement or whatever. Yeah. Another of these various collaborations, Lego.
Oh, sorry.
On
the Nintendo products, it is not just consoles. There's also like an Ultra Hand in there.
That's right.
Yeah, the pitching machine and like a bunch of other stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
the, like grabber thing.
Yeah. That's the Ultra Hand.
Oh, okay.
And then I think Ultra Machine is the pitching thing. But yeah, so there's a good amount of just like Nintendo history packed into there beyond the consoles.
Lego furniture and clothing via Nook Shopping.
Sure.
There's Zelda Cross Amiibo. So furniture and fashion, tapping Zelda series Amiibo will like bring that stuff into the game.
Yep.
And then Tulin and Minoru can visit little like villager versions of them.
Which is very cute, and they can also like live on the island too. It's not clear what amiibos you will tap to summon them, because there is a Tulin amiibo. But the Minoru's construct was an amiibo that they announced, but has not actually been like dated or previewed or anything like that.
Right.
So it's unclear exactly how they're summoned. In Welcome Amiibo, there was a Ganon villager, a Wolf Link, and an Epona. And so it's kind of a bummer not to see those three.
Yeah, it's interesting that they are like doing some of the same collaborations, but the content is not the same.
Right. And like the content is way more obscure. Like Tulin and Minoru?
Yeah.
What? I think they're cool, but I'm also like, no, give me Wolf Link. That's way better.
And then also Splatoon will be in the game as well, so you can tap Amiibo and you get CC or Vici can visit. They're squirrels, cosplaying as Shiver and Fry, respectively. Previously, these were also in New Leaf Welcome Amiibo. cosplaying as Callie and Marie.
So, and I like the pun in from the Splatoon 1 that Callie and Marie is calamari,
Uh-huh.
and then Cece and Viche is ceviche. Um, I think that's cute and funny. It doesn't play quite the same way with Shiver and Fry, but I don't know. Squirrels cosplaying as Squid Kid, idols is pretty funny too.
And then there will also be furniture and fashion that is Splatoon themed.
And it's so funny to me how like some of these things you get from Nook shopping, some of them you get from the hotel points. It's all just kind of a mess of new and old systems, and sometimes Amiibo.
Yeah.
Try and get access to all this stuff.
It's interesting to me that Lego is
I
the
know.
collaboration, which I'm guessing because Nintendo has like an ongoing relationship right now. Previously, it was like Sanrio. In New Leaf Welcome
Yes.
Amiibo, it was like Hello Kitty.
You're right.
But this time it's Lego.
I wonder if we will see more of the Zelda villagers come to this game.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
'cause they
didn't
already
really
existed.
they didn't really tease that.
They did
didn't-
not.
It was so. At least for now, it seems like this is kind of like the period on the sentence, but this is a significant update for the Nintendo Switch version. Plus, there's this new Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Of course, I think we need to talk a little bit about what does this mean for a new Animal Crossing game.
Oh, 3 years away at the very earliest.
Yeah, it totally seems that way, right?
Right. 2029. I'm going to say that we will not get a new Animal Crossing this decade.
That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, but I mean, this comes out 2026.
Yeah.
I just it seems like they're going to make us wait.
Last week, Capcom revealed their plans for releasing Resident Evil Requiem on Switch 2,
Woo!
which includes some like bundles and accessories that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So there's a Resident Evil Requiem Pro controller for Switch 2
outrageous.
on releasing the same day as the game is, February 27th for $100 because that's what Pro controllers cost now. Then they're also releasing a Resident Evil Generation Pack, which includes like Resident Evil 7, the Gold Edition, the Village Gold Edition, and then Requiem, all for $90.
Which is a pretty good price.
Yeah, I mean that's $70 for the game, which is
Mhm.
expected, and then like $10 for 7 and $10 for 8, which seems not bad. And this is going to have a physical version that I think is limited edition, and then they're also going to be selling it digitally, and not limited edition, but only available for a limited time.
Sure.
And then there also, this is the one that shocked me the most. There's going to be an amiibo, a Grace Ashcroft, who's the lead character in the game, amiibo, releasing sometime in the summer.
Which Capcom is they're not strangers to making their own amiibo. You and I were talking about this off mic this weekend. That Capcom probably has the most third-party amiibo of any other publisher, right? That they have like the Animal Crossing amiibo. They've done Street Fighter very recently. So like
By Animal Crossing,
I did mean Monster Hunter, yes.
And then the ones in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like those kind of count as like Nintendo ones, but yes, the Ken and Ryu and Mega Man. But yeah, regardless, even if we could loop them in, it seems like a trick that they're willing to play in a way that like no one else really cares to.
There's something that's kind of like, to me about the fact that it's like Grace Ashcroft.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's a character that
no one knows.
No one knows. You're just
Yeah.
like, okay, it's just a woman. All right.
It's and truly, it's like Lady Dimitrescu. You know what I mean? Like do like one of the iconic characters from this part of the series. But maybe that they're hoping that Grace Ashcroft will be that.
Yeah, maybe. Nintendo Music got an update last week celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the app. It allows users to play Animal Crossing New Horizons hourly tracks. So when you open playlists for a sunny day, a rainy day, or
a snowy day,
it will play the variation of the music based on the time of day it currently is.
Yes. So normally you can go through and like select these hour by hour and say like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is what the music sounds like on a snowy day. Or You can hit this hourly tracks and it'll like update for whatever time you're actually playing. This also works. I checked with the newly added Animal Crossing New Leaf
Oh, fun.
tracks that they have playlists that also allow you to do the hourly tracks.
Well, speaking of Nintendo and the concept of music,
Great.
the soundtrack to Breath of the Wild is getting 2 separate vinyl releases in North America and Great Britain. I think that's it. I really can't tell. Next June. So there's a double LP and an 8 LP box set. Both available as limited edition, either colored vinyl or the standard black vinyl, and featuring archival artwork created by the game's development team. It's in partnership with Laced Records. The double LP is listed as $49.99, and the 8 LP is $195, $194.99. From the Washington Post, the larger set, selling at $195, will segment its 130 tracks by mood and themes. The game's calmer exploration music will stay on one record, with bombastic battle tracks relegated to another. The 2-record set at $50 will have a curated 34 tracks, like a greatest hits package.
Now that's interesting because my initial impulse was like, just get the 2 LP set. Like, you don't need to have access to all the music. But the idea that they're like, just put this one on for a chill time, you're not going to get like weird battle music.
Right.
In it. That is
interesting.
That is interesting. Yes.
So it doesn't release until June 19th next year, but pre-orders are available now on the My Nintendo store and at Laced Records. Although I looked at Laced Records and they were selling the 8 LP version for $180 versus $195, and the double LP at $40 instead of $50. So and on the My Nintendo store, I could only find the double LP for pre-order. So I don't really know what the deal is. Like, maybe Laced Records, there are some like added fees later in the checkout process.
There's no way to know, and it could just be that like Nintendo's never sold vinyl before, so they're like, I don't. Everything about it is weird, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, so this was a big enough deal that they even brought Bill Trinen out for some interviews with outlets like Variety and the Washington Post. For this and like the 1-year anniversary of the Nintendo Music app. And so the way it was kind of like framed is, hey, like physical media is still sold everywhere in Japan and there are a lot of collectors there. And this is us kind of like testing the waters.
Oh, interesting.
With how much interest there is for these sorts of packages outside of Japan. But so this is what he told the Washington Post. Quote, as we're looking at Nintendo and our intellectual property, one of the things we've really started to zero in on is there's a lot of opportunity around music, and we've got a broad music library. And this is something that echoes what they've talked about in like the Nintendo investor Q&As before the Nintendo Music app was released, where yes, they like realize there is value in their music. And so they're clearly trying to figure out how do we best leverage this to make more money.
Well, and, you know, to sell like limited edition vinyls or even not limited edition, like that is a pretty good outlet for that.
Yeah.
And kind of cool. Like this Breath of the Wild set is rad. I had multiple friends text me about it and be like, should I get this?
I know. I don't even have a record player.
I know, me neither.
I don't own any vinyl, and I'm like, I don't know. Should I get this? I mean, I bought an Alarmo. Should I get this like 8 LP set?
You listen, the Alarmo cannot be precedent for anything. Because it is literally a permission structure to buy anything Nintendo puts their name on.
It's what a great point. What a great point. But yeah, I mean, you know, when I was in Japan a couple of years ago, it was really cool to see the different like soundtracks that they had available on CD. Like there was like, oh, you could buy the soundtrack to Metroid Fusion. I'm like, should I buy this? Should I own the soundtrack to Metroid Fusion?
I mean, you already bought an Alarmo.
Well, this was before I knew Alarmo would come into my life. But so, you know, as somebody who likes seeing specific Nintendo merchandise, I do think it's kind of cool to see them branch out in this way.
Yeah, I do think it's incredibly cool. As someone who is currently packing for a move, I am like kicking my like Nintendo collector like tendencies.
Sure, yeah.
Where I'm like, oh no. Every single thing I've purchased over the last 9 years, I had to put in a box and say, "Yup, I'm moving this to the next place."
Where and how do I pack the Labo?
Hey, a great question, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting rid of them. If I get rid of them, it's like admitting defeat.
Yeah, totally. Hey, I support you fully. Of course, with Bill Trin in there talking about Nintendo music, the Washington Post couldn't help but ask about Mario Kart World soundtrack coming to the Nintendo Music app.
Sure.
And Trinan says that the app is developed by a small team, and talking specifically about Mario Kart World. I can't go into much detail, but I can say that it does actually take time and work to prepare soundtracks for Nintendo Music. And that soundtrack is particularly robust. It's a matter of looking at the calendar and saying whether something might fit in it or not. We've certainly heard that people are eager to see that on Nintendo Music.
Or, like hire a couple more engineers and like just get it done.
I don't, Nintendo, they're strategic with their the release of their products.
Yeah,
and
okay.
they know what
true. That is true.
They know that people want, like Mario Kart World. But if you just put all of the big soundtracks on there, you lose all of like the marketing beats of slowly metering the stuff out.
Right. Yep. Even still, I think they should do it.
Finally, Limited Run Games announced that they're bringing cult favorite NES game Little Samson to the Switch, PlayStation 5, and PC in 2026.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah, so this game originally released for the NES in 1992, directed by former Capcom designer Shinichi Yoshimoto. And the game didn't sell very well in its original release and has become like really an expensive collector's item.
And also in 1992 had like a really cool Nintendo Power spread about it. It wasn't a cover game, but like this is a game that I remember coveting at the time. Because it has like a 4 different. I don't know if the character transforms or if there are 4 different characters. But like that was the kind of thing that I loved as a kid. And it's like platforming and action and just like looks cool and fun.
Yeah, I remember this was probably a decade ago or so. I saw a video game historian on YouTube. He did a video about Little Samson, and it does look very fun. And you're right, it's like 4 different characters. But after you go through the tutorial levels where you're forced, like you have to play as each character.
They make you.
Then
they kick you down in the mud. Then, you will be the little dragon now.
You're forced. But then once you get through that, you're able to just like switch on the fly.
Cool.
The game stuck in like rights hell for a really long time, so it's kind of impressive that they were able to like put that puzzle together and figure out how to officially license it. So yeah, it's releasing sometime next year, and I'm excited to check it out.
It's cool that limited run games, in addition to like being able to print like physical copies of games like this, are able to do this sort of like retro revival even in digital. Is just a nice service that they are providing to the gaming community.
Yeah, I know it's a company with like I'll say complicated relationship with its fans. But
like they hooked up at a party once and now don't talk about it.
Yeah, basically the like retail store equivalent of that. But this is one release from them that I'm looking forward to for sure.
All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. Okay, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Remember, if you're not in the Discord, you should be. Email us. We'll send you an invite. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.